Hey guys, how's it going? Today is Friday, June 20th, 2025. This morning here, after breakfast, we got to mix a load of feed up to take for the heifers. So we have not got the silo opened up yet. It's been on the to-do list, but we've never reached that far to get it opened up yet. But we finished the bag across the road, and last year we put a 300-foot bag of corn silage up on top of the hill here. 10 by 300. Normally we put 10 by 250s, and then the one down there has to be shorter. We put a 10 by 200 across the road. But we're taking silage up from this bag. We're also feeding to the dairy cows out of here. Now when we started this, there was a section here that was bad. It wasn't very good feed. We didn't want to feed it to the dairy cows, so it's kind of nice not having the silo opened up yet, because we fed that to the heifers, got that fed up. But we're also feeding some first cutting from last year to the heifers. So what we do is we bring the tractor mixer up here on the hill, park it, and then grab the skid loader, bring a scoop of high moisture corn up. We throw that in our heifer mix too, along with the dairy cow ration. So I brought a scoop of that up, dumped in the mixer. Now we keep the spear up here. I'll put the spear on, go down, grab a bale of this first cut alfalfa, throw it in the mixer, let it grind for a little bit, and then top it all off with corn silage, and then we can take it up to the other place and feed it out. This feeds for 2 days, so we only take up there every other day. So some days we're mixing 3 times a day, twice for the cows and then once for the heifers. But it's working out all right this way. It'll be a lot nicer once we get the silo opened up, get that fed out. But the reason we're feeding the alfalfa to the heifers is it's low quality. It's real long weedy stuff, so we decided just to get it used up, feed it to the heifers. We don't have any cover crop left. We fed all that up and we didn't put any out this year, so we'll just get that alfalfa fed up to the heifers, and then once that's all fed up, we'll just feed dry hay. That's all we used to feed to the heifers, was dry hay and corn silage, and then we kind of started making more cover crops. Kind of gotten away from feeding a bunch of dry hay, but we have a pile of it to get used up. It's kind of nice the way we have it all worked out. We just mix all of our feed up here in the hill. Before when we mix across the road, we throw a bale in down there at the silo, let it grind, then take stuff across the road, get our corn and our corn silage. But this way we just bring the corn up here, dump it in, then everything's up here. We just mix up feed up here on the hill. Get this kicked on, get this bale ground up a little bit, and then we'll put some silage in, and then we'll continue to grind some while we're dumping our silage in. While that's grinding, I'll give you a tour of the crops here. So this corn here on top of the hill was the first we planted. It was ground that I'd worked up, so it wasn't no-till. And overall, it's not terrible, but it's also not the greatest stand either. It's still got a yellow look to it. If you look out across there, you can see the yellow tint to it. The reason for that is all the rain we've been having. We've had more rainy days this May and June than we'd had hot sunny days. Today it's in the 70s, and the corn likes hot and humid weather. Now next week it's supposed to be a high of 105 degrees for like 3 days straight, so things will dry off and start growing then, hopefully. but as of right now, stuff's growing, but it's not growing very good. All loaded up, ready to head up to the other place now. I've been noticing in some of my videos the audio hasn't been the best, and I've been trying to think of ways to fix that because I have a mic on this camera. It's like it's an actual GoPro media mod mic, and there's this cover thing over it. I'm pretty sure it's like a wind muff or something to like keep the wind noise down in the videos. I took it off because I thought maybe it was dirty or something and it was plugging the sound. When I first got this media mod for this GoPro, it seemed to help better as long as I was facing towards me. Now if I turned the camera away, it wouldn't pick up very well. And I didn't realize this thing come off of here. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of the audio, if it's any better or worse. If that's made to come off of there like that, I don't know. And if it didn't help, we have to look into a different mic or something for this thing, because I'll tell you what, poor audio makes for a poor quality video. And I will for sure say that just from the experience of editing. Some of my videos lately haven't been very good, I'll tell you. And I want to strive to be better than that and steer away from the poor quality videos if I can. Some of my video clips didn't even have an audio to them, and that really upset me whenever I got on there and had to delete them. But there's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna have to change things in the future here if that didn't help. I've been filming with the GoPro I've had quite a few GoPros over the years now, and I've always liked GoPros. They're not the best quality, but they're kind of a universal camera. You can use them for everything. Just put them on anything, use them for everything, the waterproof, all that good stuff. So I just kind of always have one camera. I might have to look into getting something better quality. I don't know, we'll see here for the future. I've been doing some filming with my phone once in a while, but the phone's not always the best either. The GoPro, I can grab it and take it anywhere pretty much. It's nice for that, but I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments, what your opinion is on my videos, and what you think I should do. Got these guys fed up here. Just unloaded into the skid loader bucket out of the mixer. They're out back. I took some into the steer pen here, and then Dad's going out back here to run it off in the trough. This is the nicest part about the mixture. Out back you can just go straight down through and dump in the trough. You don't have to worry about the skid loader or any of that stuff. And here at the steers, we dump it in here with the skid loader, and then we take pitchfork and fork it into them. And these guys here, they get top dressed with high moisture corn. Their feed does, not them, every day. And then the ones down back here, they get every other day. They get corn on the days that we don't feed them. But the younger calves out front, they get grain all the time. Dad brought some grain up for the ones out front on the side-by-side. Still keep some high moisture corn in this wagon here, but not so much now that it's getting hot. We like to put about 2 scoops in as the max, and that'll feed the ones out back here. The ones out front, the younger ones, we bring up every day from the bag in the buckets, so they are fresh every day. got everybody fed, taken care of up at the other place. Dad and I dumped the grain in up above there. I didn't film any of that. But the younger bunch, they still get calf feed, and then the older ones, we transitioned them into high moisture corn. It's a little bit cheaper since we grow it ourselves. That calf feed is pretty expensive, so once they get to a certain point, we like to switch them over to the high moisture corn. They do pretty good on that, but I'll tell you what, that calf feed really puts a nice coat on them calves. They look really slick when we're feeding that calf feed. So for today's agenda, besides feeding, we like to get some grass hay knocked down. We got some 100+ degree days coming up here next week, and it's looking pretty nice, so we want to get it down. That way it can dry out good, and we can get it dry baled here. Got quite a few acres of that to do yet. That's still first cutting. Still got 36 acres of corn to plant too, but the problem is all those fields that need planted yet are wet fields. And being that it's so wet right now, we can't get into them and plant them, so they're just gonna have to wait till it can dry out. But the planter's still hooked up to the 125 I used at the mill, so I'll unhook the planter here and we'll get the disc mine hooked up and hopefully get some hay knocked down today. This here's why you guys always want to check under the hood of your tractor before you take off to the field, especially if your tractor's been sitting in the shed for a while, because birds or mice like to build nests in here, try to get your tractor to catch on fire. Probably wouldn't have been good after the tractor got good and hot. Got all these hydraulic lines going up here to the cooler and that. Stuff here is very easily flammable material. Not good, not good. This one here is pretty much closed up, but when the side shields are on, they can get in under here, come up the frame. It doesn't take much for a bird or a mouse or whatever. That was definitely a bird, but mice will build nests too. This one here was sitting in the shed for good, I guess it was last Friday since we used it to plant corn. And they must have built her in there sometime. But I was cleaning the coolers out in front, the air filter. Haven't done that in a little bit. Like to keep after that too. Especially on a hot day, the tractor will heat up real fast if it's not getting enough air flow through everything there. Got her hooked up. Give the tractor a little bit of a bath to wash the windows. Got everything blowed out on the front. This bine's taken care of. We got it fixed up. Well, hopefully. Got it fixed up last week there. We put some new shafts in it, and then that there new module, it had a lot of play in it, thinking it was causing the teeth to hit. Not the teeth, but the knives hitting back there. Fired it up a couple times, revved it up. Things sounded better than it has in a long time. I mean, the machines, they're a little bit loud running, but it's not chattering or anything like that. It's pretty quiet running now. So I think we got her. Some of them other ones have a little bit of play in them, but not enough to create the noise that cause them hitting back there. But coming up here, we got to finish milling where I left off, where I broke down. We'll get that knocked down. We'll get this other piece over here knocked down. And then we have some other farms we're gonna make the grass hay on too. We have these two other pasture fields here where the dry cows graze. We actually have a neighbor. He's mowing here today. We didn't need the hay, and he needed some extra hay for his beef cattle, so he told me to go ahead and make it. Otherwise, we would have to clip it off and let it lay anyhow, because we like to do that every year so it grows back nicer for the cows. You get all the weeds and the old grass mowed off, it'll come back twice as nice. But he's taking care of that, so that worked out well. And I'm gonna get this piece here mowed. There's a good bit of hay there for him on the top of the hill, and then the second piece over, that whole pasture there, he's mowing. The last rain and storm that we had really put this stuff down, so it's kind of laying over. It seems to be picking it up all right though. We'd like to got it mowed sooner, but with the weather and everything, it just didn't work out. We could have got the disc line up and running sooner, but we wanted to get some corn in the ground while we could there last week, so took a little bit of a break from the hang, but now we're going to be back into full swing here because our second cutting alfalfa is going to be ready here about next week. Seems to be working all right. You can definitely tell it's a little wet. I would say since the last I mowed up here, we probably had at least 2.5 inches, if not 3 inches, and it really hasn't had much time to dry out. So technically it's too wet to be mowing, but the thing of it is, wherever the hay's standing like that, the sun can't hit the ground and dry it out because all that hay's holding the moisture there, so it's never really gonna, you know, dry out unless you mow the hay off. Once you mow the hay off, now the sunlight will pull the water out, pull the moisture out of the ground, and it'll dry off some. But up here on the hill like that, it's not crazy wet. So it's, see the water come up on the tires a little bit, but we're not cutting ruts 10 foot deep or anything crazy, so we're still good to go yet. That neighbor used to tell my Uncle Charlie, hay won't dry if it's fast at one end. That's why we're getting her knocked down. Got that field done up there. I'm over here opening the big piece up. There's 4 different pastures here across the road. They're divided off by fence. Those 2 over that way, we pasture the dry cows in them. And these 2 over here, at one time, I'm not sure how it all went. I'm pretty sure that they had all gotten grazed at one time. I don't know what for cattle were in each, but at one time, before the cows used to get down in the meadow where they're at now, in the summertime, before and after milking, morning and evening, they would run the cows across the road into the pasture over here, and they would spend the day over here and spend the nights over here too in the summertime, and they wouldn't get fed much silage or anything like that back then. They were out on pasture most of the time grazing. I only remember one time we had dry cows over in this piece, and then they ended up getting out because the fence is pretty bad the whole way around it. So we just stopped putting them over here because, one, we didn't need the extra ground to graze them on. Those 2 pastures there are plenty for them. We just rotate them back and forth through those 2 pastures over there. I don't know if you guys caught that. It's a little fawn. I jumped it back there. Not so little. Get pretty good size around this time of year, which is a good thing because when they're small like that, they don't know enough to get out of the road. Making around, and I noticed a metal piece laying back there in the field. It was half of a skid plate. So under each of those turtle shells on the cutter bar, there's little plates that are shaped kind of like that. They sit on the bottom and they ride on the ground to keep the cutter bar up off the ground and keep the bottom of the cutter bar from wearing. And one of them must have rubbed through and broke. We have some over here at the shed. I'll just put one on quick. I don't want to run it this way and ruin the bottom of the cutter bar. It's not ideal. Got that disc line all taken care of. Just needed a skid plate there on the bottom. Easy fix. I like easy fixes like that. Usually the little things turn into a 5-minute job, always turns into a half-an-hour job. If you know, you know. Dad's mowing this steep hill here behind the shed. We always make it too. And then after dinner, I'm gonna head over there and finish knocking that down. But right now I'm gonna hook the 870 up to the tedder and give it a going over. Got my LEDs on the 870 here. This back one here that I had trouble with, didn't want to work right. It's working good now, so got all 4 of them working. Might have to run at night, might not have to, but we got lights just in case. That's all she wrote. Got her all mowed over here. I'll have some more to mow tomorrow yet. Time to do some milking. I haven't filmed that in a while. And I got cows in and started. And I was like, you know what? We gotta grab the camera and do some filming. So it's time to. I got everything ready out there. Dad just finished scraping. Go ahead and fire things up. Turn the vacuum pump on, and then also turn that plate cooler on. Milk goes through here before it reaches the tank, and it chills the milk. And then when it gets to the tank, we'll turn that on once we get some milk in there. We don't want to turn that on right away because it'll form ice in there. We don't want that. But the milk will get chilled through that plate cooler. Just uses water to chill the milk. And then once it gets to the tank, it'll reach 37 degrees. The tank will cool it down. First side's ready. Put the milkers on. I apologize if you can't hear me. I've got the fans going. Gotta keep the cows full in here while we're milking. Milking is done. Calves are fed. Just hopped on the 870 here. Gotta go over and ted this hay out that I mowed this morning. Cut it out here. Should dry out pretty good. It was already drying what was on top, but down and under it was still coming up green. Hit it with the tedder and just spread it out and fluffed it up good. Now the air can get to it. As long as we don't get a thunderstorm tonight, it don't look too well. My luck, it'll probably get rained on now to get through and ted again, but oh well. That's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, smash those like and subscribe buttons down below. Really helps me out, really helps the channel. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Have a good one.